Hello and welcome to Turtle Tracks Podcast. This is your host, Brian Van Hooker, and I'm here from Toy Fair 2025 with Trevor Zammit of NECA Toys. There's a lot of cool reveals from NECA, and Trevor's going to talk about every single one of them, regardless of...
Wait a minute.
This is a 4-hour interview. No, dude, Trevor, thanks for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so the coolest thing that I did not expect to see is the Stan Sakai set of turtles. Like, I always think, like, oh, those NECA guys, I know what they're up to. They're my,
Sure.
like, I never would have thought of Stan Sakai turtles, and they look amazing, and the colors are great. So, like, when did that come into the picture? Because I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was over a year ago. I mean, we work really close with Stan and his people, and they're great. We've done a ton of Usagi figures, like, over the years. And it was just, like, the natural progression to, like, you know, let's just, like, make some, like, a set of Stan turtles. And, like, they had the crossover comic that came out, like...
Oh, recently,
like
right?
a year
What's it
ago?
called? Re-something? I know what you're talking
But
about.
they, you know, it's like, those comics come out so fast. Like,
Yeah.
the timelines are totally different.
Sure.
It takes us at least a year to make a figure.
Right.
You know, they're putting out the comics, I think, in like 6 months or
Sure.
less sometimes. So anyway, so that crossover was happening, and Nickelodeon and Stan, they, you know, everybody got on board, and it was a good collaboration. And yeah, so they were announcing them here. This is the first look, and yeah, I think they turned out pretty good.
The faces on them, too, are like the Leo angry face is really something special, and there's that cute Mikey.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, they're just, like, and they're these chunky little guys. Like, it really just screams Sakai's artwork.
Yeah, his artwork is great. And so yeah, it's fun like sculpting his figures, you know, like his designs, because yeah, his style, it's so like uniquely him, and it's just, there's a lot of like art and like I don't know, how do I describe it? It's just like his artwork is really fun
And
So,
like cute.
yeah.
And like just, I mean, like I thought maybe we'd see like AC Farley turtles someday or somebody like that. And I was like, and like, I was thinking down the list of Mirage people, like, 'cause we've got the Lawson turtles, got the early Eastman Laird turtles. And I was like, I don't think I ever would have thought of Sakai, even though he's been.
It's so weird because we've been making.
I know.
It seems obvious. It's like from our side, it's always like, yeah, it seems like this would be the most predictable thing. We just do like more Stan stuff. Like next. And then because you're not the only one that said that this weekend.
Okay.
Like, there's other people that are like, oh my god, like I didn't see that coming.
It's so out of left field, and like, and the colors. Like, I love the pastels that you like.
Yeah.
Leonardo looks like an Easter egg in the best way. Like, the colors are like no other Leo looks those colors.
Yeah, all that stuff goes into when we're just considering like what do we make next.
Yeah.
And there's something that's just uniquely like kind of Stan Sakai about that. So we're like, these would be great figures. We should do this. So
can you reveal the how? Like, is it gonna be a 4-pack, or do we know any of that?
They're we know. They're all individual. They're going to be Ultimate figures.
Okay.
And they'll be coming out later this year, like I think in the summer.
Okay.
But it's like lots of accessories. But yeah, it's all 5 of them are just one, you know, individual.
Oh, nice.
Thing. Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's 5, so there must be Usagi with it, right?
Yeah, Samurai Usagi.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the 4 turtles.
Is it like branded as Sakai turtles? Like, is that?
Yeah, it's got like the Dogu Publishing like branding and everything on it. They'll be very similar looking to the Usagi like exclusives we've done in the past, where it's just it's just with like with Stan and the Dogu Publishing kind of imprint.
That's cool.
So yeah, it'll be themed more around that.
Target?
I think they're going everywhere.
Oh, nice.
I think, but don't quote me.
Okay, sure.
I think it's a wide release thing available everywhere.
Now, another reveal is we saw, for the first time ever, we knew that you guys were making 2012 Turtles, but the first time ever we saw Raph and Donnie.
Yeah.
Anything particularly hard or that went into those two? Because, I mean, the proportions of them are very different than everything else you guys did.
Yeah, they're unique. That show is CGI, right? So Nickelodeon actually like provides us with like the animation files. Like we get the assets.
Oh, so you guys don't have to do anything. You just print them out.
Yeah.
No work.
They hit send, and then we hit print, and then the figure is there.
Yeah.
It's done. So
what's taking so long?
Yeah, it's the easiest line we've ever worked on. So those guys, it's a unique challenge because they are like totally different from any other turtle that we've made. And then there's a lot of detail. Like I don't think people realize like on that show like how much like minute detail is like on like the shell pattern.
Well, I noticed just now when I was looking
texture,
at them. Well, because I was looking at it now. It's like there's like a wash over them.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was there, but it definitely I didn't see it, but
it adds like a
it's
depth
there
or something. Like there's like this like a speckling. Kind of like a splatter effect that's like on all this like the texture map skins on
it's
the
flat
show.
it's
flat, but then all the pads, the belts, everything, there's this little stitching detail that like you don't realize it when you're just watching the show, but then you start zooming in and like looking at these details and you're like, oh man, it's like
is there anything about those models where like even though it's like you have to change the model so that it looks right to the show, even though it's not right to the model? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is there any of that?
Yeah, that does happen, which is weird, and it's weird to say, but thank goodness for like the 3D printing and stuff.
Okay.
Because you can you can just do a test print of the model and see because it looks one way on the screen.
Right.
And then
that's what I mean.
You start cutting up the joints and everything, and that kind of changes the appearance sometimes. They're not like the most like there's weird like doing the ankle joints can be weird on those figures because they're just like the feet are
they don't have ankles. They're just extensions of their shins. Yeah.
It's like a smooth kind of shape, right?
So how did you do it? Like, is there a big ball in there?
There's a big ball in there, and then you do a test print or like. Let's see. Should I reveal the characters we haven't announced yet? Because there's a couple figures that like the sculpts are done. And then we were looking at them and we're like, there's something that just looks off about this.
Sure.
And it's, so then it's like, well, let's paint it up and then compare it and see how it looks. And maybe we'll still have to adjust. There's like a lot more back and forth than there should be because it's like Nickelodeon sent us the files. Like this is what it is.
Yeah.
But then when you're actually making it and you have it in, like you have a physical copy of it, sometimes it doesn't quite match, and then it's like, and then you just sit there and stare, and you're like, how do I fix this? Like, how do I change it to make it look
right, but it doesn't look right.
It's right, but it's not. Like it's accurate,
right,
but it doesn't look right.
Right.
And luckily, like Ciro's close by. Like I've kind of become friends with Ciro, so like I'll just send him images and like just because he created that show and knows everything, every aspect, like every little intricate, minute detail.
Yeah.
So, so when we're not sure about something, it's just like, let's just call Ciro or have him come in and look at this.
That's cool.
Because he can solve these problems in like 2 seconds. Just because it's all still in his head after all these years and stuff.
And like, not that he wouldn't because he's a genius, but like he understands the differences in the medium. Like,
sure.
Like this is how this needs to be for toy. That's so interesting.
Yeah, he was looking at the foot soldiers a couple weeks ago.
Foot soldiers are tall. I mean, of course they are.
Yeah, they're tall.
But they're tall.
Yeah, they're tall. And even that too, like we have like Shredder and Splinter, and I had their eye lines. Like I wanted them to be able to stare each other down.
Because they do,
Because Splinter's really tall. But like Ciro, but he just remembers like what their heights were designed to be. And he goes, no, he said like, oh, that's a good idea. Like they should just be like eye to eye, like staring each other down. So like we'll make these little adjustments here and there. But yeah, it's like Mikey, Raph, Leo, Donnie. That's like from shortest to tallest on the turtles. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, where does April and Casey fall in that height?
April's the same height as Donnie, right?
No.
Really?
No, she's
shorter than Donnie?
She's much shorter. But like Casey's almost as tall as Donnie.
Interesting.
But Casey is shorter than a foot soldier. So then you're trying to adjust. You got to plan ahead all of this.
Sure.
And just make sure that everything will fall into place. Because like we're gonna have test shots of the turtles like next week.
Oh wow.
So they're done. Like you can't really change their heights anymore. But like And Shredder's, the tooling for Shredder's almost complete too.
Shredder
So
looks great too.
we wanted to make sure those heights were all locked in, and then everyone else can kind of
Makes sense.
fall
Sure.
in place like around him. But it's like Tiger Claw, like sizing him up, and like,
And a lot of times these characters are crouched. Like Shredder's oftentimes
it's not helpful when they're
sitting. Shredder sits a lot. He's a lazy Shredder.
Yeah, he does sit in that throne fairly often, or they're just fighting.
Yeah.
So there's always like a hunched over, staggered pose, or
Sure.
It's difficult to get them in a group shot where they're all next to each other, not one in front of the other.
And the models don't solve that problem?
Well, they can, but as soon as you open stuff in ZBrush, like you have to make sure everything's scaled to each other.
Okay.
Because they're not all. You can very easily change the size.
Sure.
And then it throws everything off. So you got to make sure. And they gave us this height chart that's got a bunch of the characters, but then it's got like some of the giant monsters, that are like.
Oh, Razar's like 11 feet tall.
No, but not him. But like when they're like that mutant Shredder that was the size of a building.
Oh.
Like some of the characters on the height chart they gave us are like, we're never gonna make this guy because he's he's like 600 feet tall or something.
Sure.
It's like, but yeah, like Leatherhead's huge.
Yes.
And like Spider Bites and like Snakeweed. Some of those guys are just like, they're gigantic.
Sure.
So it's like, all right, do we make these true to scale? Do we have to cheat it a little bit? Will anyone notice? Will anyone care?
Two figures I want to know about for the line. My favorite villain, Pizza Face, and Karai.
Yeah.
When are we getting them?
We're working on them.
All right.
There's, we're going like pretty hard into the line now. So it seemed to be so well received.
Oh yeah.
Just with the initial, just the announcement, people were excited.
Because that show is so good. For anybody who watches the show,
really good.
It's like not my favorite Turtle show. The original is always my favorite. Yeah. It's the best Turtle show. It's really good.
I think it's the best.
Yeah.
And it's got a really hardcore, like dedicated fan base, and like people were really excited when we announced it. So it's just like let's just go for it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in the works right now. Ciro's excited.
Sure.
It's all good stuff. So
last one I want to talk about is Archie, Fifth Turtle April. I love that character design. Okay. That's one of my favorite specials from the old line.
Yeah.
She's coming soon, right?
Yeah.
She looks all tooled up. She looks good.
She's done. I think that's a first deco. So there's like one or two more rounds of revisions, just tightening things up. But it's pretty much going to be going in production in the next few weeks.
Sure. And
then it takes like a month to ship on the water and everything. So it should be out like early summer, probably.
Oh, nice.
Unless there's some other like unforeseen.
Right. Like there is weekly now? Yeah.
Yeah, barring any unforeseen circumstances.
Or trade wars or whatever.
That too. Yeah. There's, who knows?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Because and I love that she has three heads with her.
Yeah, there's
awesome.
There's 3 or 4 heads.
That's really
some hands, the sword. So yeah, she's a fun.
Was it tricky at all to take like that turtle face that everybody knows and like getting that little beak, or was it not a big deal? Because it's a small but significant change.
Turtles are surprisingly difficult to sculpt. I kind of just art direct the sculptors now, but like they do take more like refining, especially like the cartoon and the Archie stuff, like the simpler designs are the more complicated because like when you turn the head, the profile doesn't always line up, so you need to adjust a lot. And again, just test printing and seeing it, turning it around like in person, that's very helpful. But there's always these challenges. You don't think this would be really easy to just like. It uses the stump wrestling turtle body. We'll just make a couple new heads, new hands.
Sure.
She's got a new shell. That shouldn't take long.
Right.
And then you get the files, and you're looking at them, and you're like, whoa, let's just tweak it a little more. It's like, could be a little more Ken Mitrone looking, or some of the Chris
the
Allen
artist
stuff.
who did that, I was just talking about this. The artist who does it wasn't Allen or Mitrone. It was somebody else for that special. I forget who it was.
Yeah, maybe.
I forget the name. I can't. I'll have to look it up. But yeah.
Well, we all know and love Ken and Chris, let's say it was...
No, but it's close. Yeah, it was, yeah.
So,
so this is how spoiled we are. Is now we're asking for characters we don't even know the names of. But like, what about her little squirrel pal for that one issue? Like now I feel like I need her for no reason.
Yeah, what was that? I was just reading that comic the other day.
It's great. I had that. That is so tattered. For some reason, that one, like, I remember that was one of the, like, 8 issues of Archie I had when I was a kid that I just poured over constantly. That, Stump Wrestling, a couple of others.
Yeah.
But, like, man, like that, because maybe it was because I caught my eye, like, oh, who is the 5th turtle?
Mm-hmm.
It was April. Okay. Yeah. The 5th biggest character is the 5th turtle.
Yeah. Who could it possibly be?
Yeah. All right, dude, I'm going to let you get back to this. Okay. I got a lot of stuff, but thank you so much. Appreciate
of course, man.
All right. Hello and welcome to Turtle Tracks Podcast. I'm welcoming back to the podcast Pat Linden from Playmates Toys. We're talking, I'm here from Toy Fair 2025, and I wanted to catch up with a little bit of what Playmates is up to. Pat, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, and welcome to Toy Fair 2025, and it's great to be back in New York City again and see everybody, and looking forward to having a great year and beyond.
February is always the best time to come to New York City when it's freezing cold. It's really windy today.
Although the weather hasn't been too bad.
It's not actually not that bad.
It's pretty nice.
Tomorrow's supposed to be bad.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's supposed to be freezing.
Tomorrow will be a different story.
But we're talking about some of the stuff that's been revealed here at Toy Fair. I want to talk about some of the retro ones you guys are releasing. Like, the thing I'm most excited about is that the modular is coming back. Like, that was the best villain vehicle back in the day. And I mean, like, I know you guys have brought back a lot of things, but that to me was, I don't know. Is there anything you want to say about that one? Because that's such an exciting thing to bring back.
No, look at the Mutant Module. Obviously a fan favorite. Very excited to bring it back as well. And look at it. It's not based on the original tool. We are retooling it to the specs of the original. So it'll be the same size, have the same functions. It'll be compatible with the classic action figures and some of the new figures as well.
Sure.
So just like it was back in the 80s.
It's so funny. Like, looking at it, I'd forgotten some of the details, like all the tubing and stuff. Like, so I mean, this is all new parts because you couldn't.
All new parts, right. We didn't have the tool from it back in the 80s, but obviously we had the model, a couple models, so recreating that model to the same specs as it was back in the 80s.
It's such an iconic vehicle from that show, too. Like, I'm so glad that, like, I'm excited for my kid to have one. I still have my old one, but I might get a second because there's a lot of pieces missing in my old one. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, no, we are as well.
And the Foot Cruiser, which is great.
The Foot Cruiser, yes, and that'll be an Amazon exclusive. That'll be out this fall. And again, another one of those iconic vehicles from the 80s. And look at it, it's a bad guy vehicle, just like the Mutant Module is.
Yeah.
But we're retooling that as well. But again, based on the original specs from that original Foot Cruiser.
I guarantee you're going to have a lot of, not just like people buying it for the retro purposes, but like you're going to have a lot of adult collectors buying that to turn into neutrino cars and things like that. Yeah. I know I am. Yeah. Because I needed another one. But
that's part of the fun, though, of collecting this stuff, right? Is, it's based on the Turtles, but upping it or plussing it up with your own details that you can apply to it is part of the fun.
Yeah. And the Shell Razor's coming back from the 2012 line?
Correct, yes. Cool. Shell Razor and that 2012 line, the basic action figures are out at Target now.
Sure.
And we're bringing back the original Stealth Cycle as well.
Oh, nice.
From that 2012 series. That'll be first available at Target, and that should be this fall.
Do you know, so right now from that line, we have the 4 Turtles, Shredder, Metalhead. Do you think we'll get more from that line? Like Karai, for example, she was very hard to get back in the day, or
Yes.
April. Will we get those, you know?
I think so.
Okay.
Look, we have a line list that has, waves 2, 3, and 4. And the great thing about that 2012 line is there's a lot of different characters that we can go back and do. And it was a great series. It did very, very well. And
such a good show.
Continues to do well on TV. I believe it's on Netflix and a couple other Nickelodeon platforms.
And then, talking about other lines, there's the modern line, which I want to talk about some of the Tails stuff. You guys are doing like the head dropping turtles, which are,
correct.
A call back to the old days, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we've seen a couple different turtles in different outfits. What can we expect from the Tails line?
No, look at in 2025, between 2025 and early in spring of 26, we'll be introducing between 25 and 30 new action figures.
Nice.
Based on Tales of. And this will be a combination of turtles, like you said, we'll have head drop in, and then we have a cool feature called shell spin. Where you press the button and the turtle will flip on its own, kind of like the spinners, which is cool.
Wow.
And then, a lot of new characters based on themes from the TV show as well. That, unfortunately, we can't say a lot about because they haven't been officially introduced by Nickelodeon yet.
But there's some cool stuff. That's all I'll say. This is really, I'm very excited about what's going on with Tails. And, the toy line's been great so far. Like, I love Pigeon Pete.
Yep. That
Metalhead toy was great.
Yeah.
He looked really clunky in the best way. Like, it was really some great stuff with that line already.
Yeah, a lot of fun to work on. And it's great seeing these new characters, I guess you could call them new old characters, being reimagined based on the look in this TV series.
And there's some vehicles coming out for that as well, right?
There are vehicles. The new group vehicle, which will be what we call the Sewer Spewer Turtle Tank, that'll be part of a new series on Tales of, that unfortunately we can't talk much about, but yeah, it'll be compatible with the figures and have a fun feature incorporated into it as well.
I got some Next Mutation Jeep kind of vibes from that.
Yes.
There was some familiarity to it that I really liked.
Yeah. It's
I know
really a lot of fun. And the features that we've incorporated into it, I think everybody will appreciate.
Yeah, some really fun stuff. And then there's this really cute, and I'm saying that in the best way, there's this really cute transforming turtle lair that you guys are debuting, and it's like a turtle that turns into a sewer.
It goes from pet turtle into playset turtle.
Sure.
Play environment inside, 3 levels of play, loaded with over 10 different features. There's zip lining, there's a battle platform, there's different sewer tunnels that the turtles can crawl through or slide through as well. And a nice price point. It'll be about $50 at retail.
Oh, nice. Very cool. And it looks like, and when it transforms, it's like this really cute turtle. It's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And the great thing about it is when you're done playing with it, you can transform it back into pet turtle mold.
Sure.
And carry it to where you want to play with your next adventure.
Now, I'm sure a lot of people are excited because you also are releasing, going back to the retro line, sorry I'm bouncing back and forth, is the original Sewer Lair playset.
Yes.
Which looks exactly like it did back in the day. Like, I know some people got a little bent out of shape because the Technodrome was an inch and a half short or whatever. Yep. I know people got upset. This is exactly, I'm telling you, it looks exactly like it should.
No, we retooled it, and the original Sewer Lair playset didn't stay together very well. So we've actually improved the tooling on this
Okay,
one.
Cool.
It'll snap together. It'll be sturdier.
Sure.
Yes, the exact same size. The box size is going to be a little smaller.
Cool.
Per the retail specs, but the playset itself, exactly the same size as it was back in the 80s.
Sure. I mean, I'm somebody who, I don't know. I know some people got upset about it, but with the Technodrome, for me, I've still got mine from back in the day. Not everybody does, but I have a 10-year-old daughter. She loves the turtles, and I was excited to get her a Technodrome. So that was exciting to me.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you want to talk about it all, any of that issue, but I was just happy there's a Technodrome and that you can play with it. It was great.
Yeah, no, we did make it a little bit smaller, but that was to keep it so it stayed together a little bit better.
Sure.
A couple inches smaller. I don't even think it was a couple inches, but making it a little smaller actually made it easier to assemble and stay together when the kids were playing with it versus the original.
And even though they're throwbacks, they're still kids' toys.
Correct.
These are not collector's toys. They're meant for the kids.
Exactly.
And like I said, I buy so much of the stuff for my daughter so she can enjoy them the same way I did. And it's been great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look at it. Definitely Turtles has always been a kids line. And, it's great that we can produce toys that service the kids and the collectors.
Sure.
And, that's part of the fun of making toys.
But if it's half an inch difference, we're going to get pissed. The collectors are going to cheat.
We get it. Could say we learned our lesson.
And Mini Mutants are coming?
Yes, the Big Mouth playsets, which will be first available at Target starting this March.
Sure.
2 turtle heads, basically Leo and Raphael, that open up to a cool play environment inside. Each of them come with a micro turtle that measures, I believe, about 1.2 inches tall, is articulated, comes with separate weapon accessories that snap in their hands. They come with skateboards as well, and that micro environment that you can play with them inside the turtle heads.
They're fun. Those mini turtles from back in the day were always super fun. So It's cool to go back to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll probably expand on that in 2026 and beyond.
I think that covers so much of what what we're like. Oh, I was going to say some of the stuff you guys are also okay to talk about bringing back is some of the more obscure mutants like Scaletail, Worm. How did you guys choose those characters? Because they're really like deep cuts, and I'm so happy that you guys chose them to bring back.
You know what's interesting? If you look at some of the characters that are being introduced in the TV series, you'll see some of those characters new from the TV series, and it makes sense to bring back then some of those classic characters so that you can purchase the old as well as the new.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that's...
So there's kind of a connection.
Yeah, so I didn't put that together. I guess I'm just slow in the take there, but that's... Because Scaletail, even though it was a character that was never in the cartoon or anything like that, that's a great toy.
Yeah.
It's a really cool looking, like one of my favorite villains back in the day. Mm-hmm. And it was like a character was never anywhere. It was just a toy, and it was a great toy.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that on the shelves again. I'm excited for that.
No, it'll be fun. And then Chrome Dome as well.
Yep.
And then, I think it was classic Anthrax.
Nice. My last question for you is, I've always been curious about this. Would you guys ever be open to, like, in the throwbacks line, releasing the toys that were never released, like the Knight Michelangelo or those little meat sweats guys from the Rise line, or anything that didn't quite make the cut but almost did?
Look, it's always under consideration.
Sure.
And a lot of it depends too on what's going on with the new TV series and what's upcoming. And I'm sure everybody knows in 2026 will be the second Turtle movie. It's kind of a sequel to Mutant Mayhem, which we're obviously very excited about. But definitely all that is under consideration. It's just finding the right moment to bring it back.
Yeah. Like, I know Night Mike would be cool to see. Like, I don't know if you've seen those back. Yes. Like, those are things people would be, like, go nuts over.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's all fair game and under consideration.
Cool. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No, not a problem. Thank you.
We're really hip. They're heroes in the half shell, and they're green. Hey, get a grip. When the evil shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut them no slack. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Splinter taught them to be ninja teens. He's a radical rat. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines. That's a fact, Jack. Raphael is cool but rude. Give me a break. Michelangelo is a party dude. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
Hello and welcome to the Turtle Track Podcast. This is your host, Brian Van Hooker. I am here from Toy Fair 2025 with Claudio, Paola from McFarlane Toys. They recently announced they're doing a line of IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys, so Claudio's going to here talk about it. Claudio, thanks for being on the program. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me on. Glad you could come out to Toy Fair.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I looking at these toys in front of me, so it's going to be a little while before everybody listening to this can see them, but there's a pretty awesome looking set of IDW toys. Tell me what got McFarlane? When did McFarlane and Turtles get in the same? When did this start?
Well, we've been trying to get the Turtle license for a little while now, and I'm glad that we finally got the license to do the IDW Turtles. It will be IDW Turtles only, which is great, But we've been wanting to do them for a long time. You want me to run through a little bit of the
please. So there's the four turtles first, I guess.
So what we have is we have the four turtles and Bebop Rocksteady, as well as a Shredder and a Foot Soldier. So that'll be the first couple waves here that we have. And let's start off with the turtles. they each have their own unique sculpt, like you see in the IDW comic. So we're not reusing any body parts or tooling when it comes down to it. And each turtle does come with their trademark weapon, as well as hand swaps and foot swaps. So what I mean by a foot swap is the foot accessory is like a toe bend, so that you can pop the foot off, put the toe bend accessory on, and you get that cool dynamic Ninja Turtle look. Or that ninja look, instead of having articulated toes. So if you guys saw the Leonardo digital render that GameStop released, or who released? Yeah, it was not GameStop. IGN, the IGN podcast. We did release a Leonardo render with a couple accessories in there, including this foot accessory. So you guys will check that out and know what I mean. But yeah, each turtle, like I said, comes with their weapon, foot and wrist swaps, as well as a head swap. So right now we have them equipped with like an angry face, but they do come with a nice, gentle, happy Ninja Turtle face.
Oh, nice.
And they each also come with their like a unique accessory. Like Donnie comes with binoculars, Mikey a slice of pizza, Raph, a dumbbell kind of thing. So they each have their own little character behind their accessory.
One thing I'm super curious about, so like the IDW comics have kind of marked my major differences in the art styles, like Dan Duncan, Matteo Santaluco. Did you guys pick a certain artist to go with? Is there who's it based on?
You know what? To be honest, I'm not entirely too sure what the artist is.
It looks like a blend.
It is a blend, because all those names I do recognize I do recognize those names because I remember seeing them in one of our decks. Right?
Sure.
I'm not entirely too sure, to be honest. So I apologize.
It looks like a good mix, though. Like
It is,
really
yeah.
like these look.
I know
like
Mateos is one of them. Sure, because I know someone who knows him personally, so I definitely know him. Let's talk about Bebop and Rocksteady.
Bebop and Rocksteady. So my Bebop and Rocksteady in the IDW toys IDW comics are great.
Yes.
So I'm very excited to see them, and they look awesome here.
So let me start off by saying the entire line is a 1/12 scale.
Mm-hmm.
So your turtles are going to be about 5 inches. Shredder foot soldiers are going to be about 6, and Bebop Rocksteady are going to stand around 7, and they're chunky.
Yeah.
Right. So you're looking at 1/12 scale. Bebop and Rocksteady, they do come again with head swaps. Bebop actually comes with a really cool, it looks like he just got knocked in the head. His glasses are toppled over.
Nice.
Very cute. They also have hand swaps as well, and their own trademark weapons. Bebop comes with his chainsaw and like a rifle, and Rocksteady comes with a sledgehammer that he painfully uses on Donatello, as we all dreadfully remember.
Yes. Yeah, that's I didn't check. Donatello have the metal shell, or do he have?
He has a normal shell.
Normal shell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the detail on the shell is hyper detail. It's crazy.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you're able to look at the details on
I didn't
them,
notice the shell
you
details.
can see the scales on the
Nice.
skin tone, and it is looking really, really good.
Bebop and Rocksteady too. Like I'll say, they look just like they're right out of Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything, which is the best story with those guys. So that's I'm very their take on those characters is maybe the best ever.
Yep.
So it's really cool to see them coming out.
Yeah, me too. Let me go over the articulation.
Please,
from the render that everyone saw, I know it doesn't look like they have articulation. It does have articulation. It's not our 22 points like our DC Multiverse or anything, but it is, I believe, 15 points. So they are very articulated.
Nice.
Single elbows, single knees, but they have rotating thighs, and they have rotating ankles, wrists. I believe that's it. Head, obviously. I think their bicep as well. A little bit of a butterfly. So they do actually have a lot of articulation.
Now, can you tell me about Shredder and the Foot Soldier?
So Shredder, he comes with 4 sets of hands and 2 katanas. That's as far as I know, and a head swap. He comes with an Orokusaki head swap.
Nice.
Which is really cool. Like bear skin, band, ponytail kind of.
Top knot.
Yep.
Very cool.
And the Foot Soldier has an alternate head. So the one that we have on display has like a metal plating on top.
Okay.
Like a crown. And then the head swap is just a plain old, basically the same head without the metal plate.
Cool.
Right. And the Foot Soldier also comes with a tonfa as well as a spear.
Now,
Like a naginata. Yeah.
is the first set just going to be the turtles, and then this next one?
So wave 1 Wave 1, I believe, is going to be Leo, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Shredder, and a foot soldier. So we want to release the foot soldier early on because we want it to be an army builder, and we want people to get their hands on them sooner than later. And then the next wave is going to be Raph, Donnie, Bebop, and Rocksteady.
Very cool.
So you're going to get Bebop and Rocksteady in one wave.
I mean, to me, the best original character in the IDW verse is Old Hob. Is that on the horizon?
As far as I know, not right now, simply because this is a brand new wave.
Very early, yeah. Sure.
It is early, but I mean, from what we're gathering, people are very excited about these figures. I'm genuinely excited. I love the Ninja Turtles to death. They're my favorite thing on the planet. So, if people like what we put out, we're gonna continue. I know people are a big fan of Casey. We want to see April and Splinter.
Jenica, we gotta see Jenica.
We have to see Jenica.
Yeah.
We'll see how far down the line we get. That she might be, a couple waves down.
Sure.
But we definitely would want to get the main cast out of the way. Casey Jones and April have to come next.
Sure.
Hob would probably be in wave 3, but we'll see. That's a little ways away.
Yeah, I know.
But if you want to see Hob, then you know what to do, guys.
Sure.
Support our turtles, and yeah.
Did we say price point yet? I can't remember.
It's TBD.
Okay. And where are they located? Where can you get them?
Right now, that's also TBD.
Got it. Cool.
I don't think they're going to be exclusive, but like I said, they're going to be that'll be TBD. I can pass you information.
Sure.
When
do you have a favorite of these so far, and why? There's one that stands out to you the most.
They're
all pretty great.
I think Shredder is probably my favorite. Turtles or out of all?
All 8 of them, but you can give me one turtle and one.
Okay, well, I'll do one turtle. It's hard.
Sure.
Leo's my favorite turtle.
Okay.
But I do genuinely like Leo, mainly because I played with him. I shouldn't do that. Leo is my favorite, so I'm going to be biased. But I think overall of our wave, it's going to be Shredder. He has a lot. He seems like he has a lot more movement, a lot more articulation. He has a soft goods fabric cape.
Nice.
He just looks badass and menacing.
Yeah.
Sorry if I can say that.
Oh, you can say badass. Okay. That's fine.
He just looks menacing, and he just looks like he popped right out of the comic book.
Nice.
And the head swap is pretty darn cool to get the Oroku head. But it's probably going to be Shredder in my opinion. And then Leo. I have to say Leo.
Cool.
Leo.
Claudio, this is everything I needed, man. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
On the half shell, they're the heroes for. In this day and age, who could ask for more? The crime wave is high, with muggings mysterious. All police and detectives are furious, cause they can't find the source of this lethally evil force. This is serious, so give me a quarter. I was a witness, get me a reporter. Call April O'Neil in on this case. Hey, you better hurry up, there's no time to waste. We need help like quick on the double. Have pity on the city, man, it's in trouble. We need heroes like the Lone Ranger. When Tonto came pronto, when there was danger. They didn't say we'd be there in half an hour, cause they displayed turtle power. Reporter was hot on the trail, determined to put these crooks in jail. She spied the bad guys and saw what happened, but before she knew it, she fell in a trap and got caught. Yeah, she was all alone, with no friends and no phone. Now this was beyond her worst dreams, cause she was cornered by some wayward teens. Headed by Shredder, they were anything but good. Misguided, unloved, they called them the Foot. They could terrorize and be angry youth, and they'd mug the people who needed proof. Then from out of the dark came an awesome sound, shouted cowabunga as they hit the ground. From the field of weeds, the heroes rescued the flower, cause they possessed turtle power.